Hello, it's Krista here with you again today, and it's a beautiful sunny morning over here where I'm at, and luckily no snow, and it's almost Christmas, so always have to have that things that are going good for you. I know for me and a lot of other people, when you grow up in more of a dysfunctional home, or even might just have mental disorders or different things, even if a person might be ill, can have a larger negative thinking pattern, and it can be it can just outweigh everything in your life sometimes, where your mind cannot shut off all the negative clatter going on in there. Often, maybe how you were treated or talked to as a younger person, or maybe where someone was really hard on you, and so you're really hard on yourself, and you hold all these high expectations, and when your expectations don't always get met, we are so disappointed. We can lose all hope and just feel devastated, especially during traumatic events that happen during our lives. Maybe after someone we love has passed on, a divorce, an illness, a loss of a job, or whatever it may be, where it can be a real struggle to get through that time. Our negative thoughts can rule our world. Oftentimes we struggle to snap out of that, and we can go to the overworking, overspending, drugs, just occupying our minds away from these painful feelings that we're dealing with. Maybe that we stuff and stuff, but unfortunately we are still left with these painful feelings inside. I know cognitive therapy, it's always a good practice, or using mindfulness strategies through meditation or whatever, where you can get yourself to relax and come into a better, more relaxed state of mind, energy-wise, where we can go from being like, I can't handle this, to, okay, maybe I can handle this, maybe some tapping, EMDR or tapping or whatever, where you can just calm yourself down, take a walk in nature, or whatever you have to do, kick a ball around to get out some excess anger instead of on someone else before it's too late, and other people get hurt, where maybe as younger people, we were often not able to get our needs met from maybe more unstable people in our environment, or more narcissistic environments where we were not able to show our feelings, whether they were anger, sadness, happiness, whatever it was, crying. Maybe you were always told not to cry, especially more for men, because crying is for sissies. I know even in my adult years, getting into these narcissistic relationships, the last two I remember were just so annoying, because even though we can forget by creating all this numbing and faster lifestyles, where we can barely keep up, forget that these people were telling us at different times in our lives not to cry, or everything's okay, and it was just basically your emotional needs were invalidated. So maybe that other person's feelings could be validated constantly and yours ignored, your feelings, because that's how they were dealing with theirs, coping in all kinds of crazy ways. And, it's no matter, the world is like it is today. And narcissism is really coming out in the open, and more people are learning all the time, and the word narcissism is catching on. Although we could probably narcissist everything, or it could be the phase where we're hitting, where we're thinking everybody is a narcissist. That is a stage. And it can be normal for a while when you're coming out of an abusive relationship, be it with your family, friends, or partners, whatever it may be. When you find all of a sudden in your life, pardon me, that you're in this place where you no longer can stand it. Maybe your doctor diagnosed you with a nervous breakdown. Maybe you're having panic attacks. You're just very unsatisfied with your life, and you've become depressed. The doctor is prescribing you all kinds of medication for it, but still you can't get out of the funk. Sometimes it's harder to see when you're in covert narcissistic relationships. I know I came from a covert narcissistic home where my father was a covert narcissist. And still to this day, I watch him as he just acts chipper and like nothing is wrong and everything is all okay most of the time. But there is always an underlying, everybody works for him, everybody works around him to please him, make him happy, and never go where you're picking at his flaws or criticizing him or reducing his ego in any way, because their egos are so fragile, no matter what kind of ego they are. We can be cast out of places. We can be cast out by what we thought were friends when the going gets tough. Because what a narcissist often does, are when you are down with whatever it is, maybe your house caught fire or whatever, and you expect any kind of emotional or moral validating support from these people that sometimes can give this support on special occasions, but when it comes down to it, they don't have enough to just keep up doing it. And when they run out of that amount, that small amount that they have for us, when it's our turn to be, comforted and eased by someone kind, these people, their acts can come off and their masks can, lay down for a second, and they can't give you any of that at all. And they will run, they will not have time to deal with your problems, and you're all on your own, dealing with it all by yourself. Whether it's gotten to the point where they've isolated you from everybody else, they've outcasted you, it can get to bad levels. where you're wondering why you're all alone, and you don't know what to do anymore. You feel helpless, like nothing's ever going to change. But amazingly, as we do open up to the awareness of what narcissism is, I know that it took a long time for me, as I'm 43 now, to start seeing this crazy behavior from all the boyfriends that I had and an ex-husband, as to why they were such awful jerks, not really comprehending how somebody can be so horrible or nasty, especially when it comes to needing their love or help, you know. But I'm really glad for social media these days, these YouTube videos, books, because I'm sure that I heard somewhere online about narcissism. And when my last partner flew the coop on me and just basically terrorized me for a while and would threaten to burn clothes when I wanted to leave and go see my children, and just like break my TV when I try to break up with them, like a $400 TV that I just bought from him. They can offer all these things to persuade you that they are in control, and also they can take and they can give to you, but they can always take it away just as fast when they don't like something that you've done or said, or are acting maybe on not needing to be enmeshed within these relationships anymore when we do try to leave or have lives, independent lives or minds of our own. These people can really suck you in with giving you things with money or gifts, or you know, just that first stage of love bombing again for a while, and make it look like they really do have all this caring and love for you again. But before you know it, they can take it away just as quickly, be it a car or whatever else, for any bizarre reason that they choose, just to show you who is boss and who to listen to, and just create this world where you cannot leave. They can sabotage you in any efforts to escape it, which is very scary for people like us, because we are out here trying to survive, and every little thing that they do to keep us down, little small things that you might not even notice when you do start gathering information on these types and what they are really capable of, is a very terrifying place to be, especially when you are kind of trapped by these individuals. You can fall into more panic modes. That's why it's really important to learn CBT skills, mindfulness skills, instead of reaching for that bottle, reaching for those pills, or another really fast relationship with another man or woman. Instead of reaching towards like never having time for yourself, or facing any underlying pain through child meditations, therapists that know and are educated on narcissism, or know codependency, or whether you're just teaching yourself, whatever it is. We can always help calm down by watching another video, knowing that we're not alone, joining in groups and things again. And even if it might be a bogus group, you don't have to stay in that. And to know what is what is pretty important when you're trying to really go through the process of whether it be quitting drugs or abusive relationship, forming a real relationship with yourself, you're going to have to find a time and area where maybe you cut some of these ties with these people, and maybe not tell them everything that you're planning or doing, and just doing things on your own. Whether you might have to go for a drive for a while, maybe if you can't get out of that house, go to the park and for a couple hours, just do your narcissistic educational thing, or sneak and go see that therapist. Whatever it is, take at least a couple hours of your day and learn self-love. We can relearn how to love ourselves with a lot of self-care. Boundaries is a great thing to practice and to keep practicing. I don't care for how many months or years it's going to take us to really realize what we've been through, what we're facing today, and what we face internally. You know, we can take care of the external all we want, but the problems are not going to go away, and the need to use or create more trauma and stress in your life, which you've been taught to do all your life, will keep being created until we can finally go internal and start working on ourselves. We're creating boundaries and working on ourselves. So, looks like I'm 17 minutes into the video. Again, I guess I'm talking about narcissism again, and how scary it can be, and just little tidbits of advice here and there. Maybe we're still in jobs that we don't like. Maybe we're ill and we can't leave. Don't forget that there are resources out there, a lot of government funding and things for housing and things like that. And even in your area, or maybe even out of your area in a bigger city, finding the right place to go for help that could be free, or where they offer you assistance, be it housing, temporary housing, or whatever it may be. Whether you need to find new work, there are resources that can be given by calling hotlines, and just anything to help further you. You are not alone, and the more that you learn, we don't have to spit it in front of the narcissist's face, because all that creates is more of a rage and a punishing. So, like I said, it all starts within us, and we can really start living better lives when we can free ourselves of the chain and bondage of just, having an outer happiness instead of an inner happiness, because all those deep, dark thoughts start changing when we can lift ourselves up out of it into the light, feel that warm light around us glowing, and really energize it with that energy, that white pure light, and prayer and guidance from our guts or the God that we believe in. We can really start planning and taking action where we need to at the right times, and not to let that terror just freeze us out, like fight or flight, or fawn, like freeze mode, can really affect us. And when we can use mindfulness strategies to calm down, and always know that where there is help, all you need to do is look around a little bit, and you are not alone, and we are going to get through this together. So thanks for watching today. Peace.